And the good thing about them, especially when you're studying, it's when I was starting, because like I had because no guy cancel when I was starting, because I didn't know what to plant next. This season, then they would tell you, maize. Do that. Let's
we
say
want
3-4 will tell you maize, and then you can group. Oh, the next season is maize. Then you can be early, or you can be just a tad too late. But whatever, being early, being late, it didn't the consequence due to the climate and everything. But yeah, they can
at least
guide
you plant knowing
how is the market going
to
now you can gain that experience of next time in the market.
Mas again.
Jamme.
But Khanan.
No, like man, by God's grace, we remo.
Again, yet again, dog. Yet again. Beautiful stuff, dog. I think more podcasting ya vandaag. Yeah, we want to address, I think, the biggest problem. Not I think, the biggest problem.
One of.
If it's not the first problem, because I think most people. You can get yourself okay. For the people to understand or one of the biggest problems, which is marketing, access to market. Tricky one. Like you said, one of the biggest problems that we're experiencing as emerging farmers and small scale farmers is your access to market on first time. And which is one of the things that is for me just the hardest to digest sharp. When you think of it like logically, or even like we have, and when you go through the stats that we have like almost 900 million people on the globe that are suffering from severe hunger.
Oh, but you can see there by the market, by the Swana market. You remember we were there? They were taking out 10 tons truck, I think 8 per day.
Or of waste, all the produce that was not sold. It's still, sometimes when I just sit of it and think of it, I'm like, the other thing is, why really the price taker? Like, how did we get here? That when answering what the people need, you are the price taker, and even getting access to market is so complex and is yet so simple when you look at it at the same time. Market basically, that is as simple as that, people buying our produce, but in the real world that we're living in, it's so complex, yet so simple but so complex. Because formal markets are already established and also not into the established doing. But yeah, it's just weird. But let's unpack it a bit, my G. Funny enough, I was having this conversation with one of the employees. So we were driving on a some accident. But anyway, so we ended up chatting in J because that is what we do. We ended up chatting on first time. Her oldest son, was Marosalugo primary. High school grade 8. Ore bafana sona baisa kuskela. He was selling like the chipsy, keep and so on. And what the feedback, and then I'm too sabafanas because the agreement between her and her son was, na ke tla o rekela stock, o geen problem. Let's say wena o batla talks, a pair of talks on Frostan. Go regular stock, uyazigela wa bayisa. Whatever profit that you make, you save nageta tlats. I will add to whatever money you have accumulated. I will add koskolonga bayis and I will add and then oreka toxi on Frostan. Instead of me having to give you the full amount, which I don't have, honestly speaking, like I can't afford to spend 0.2 on a pair of talks on Frostan. Whatever expenses, the household expenses, which I think is dope. The reason why I'm Kibwa stories and I was encouraging her, dog, like do that. And then Bafana Sonari Marikos Gela Majita Banse and I get embarrassed of selling and so on. And which is a problem not only for that young kid, but for most people who buy Sanjay. It's either you are too ashamed or ako no mageta product ya shop or tsabaya batho o tsabana batho batoreng. That is a problem even that we face as adults. But the reason why I'm telling the story is later that day we had this conversation around Bonai, Reya Ruhuka, Jegala Spanning. Later that day, I think after lunch, about 2-3 years, she comes back to me because I was more housing. Yeah, she comes back to me. I don't know if it. What's about king? Earlier this year, about June, I invested. Look, African Bank on Frostan. I invested 2 block. One good disease. And on no 2 block, I get a good harvester. You could imagine, dog, like you fall. Don't fall. Don't fall. Remaining you see. So this is like 6 months investment. 2,130. And now I change or as I don't come,
at least 5 clip.
At least like bare minimum was 5, like bare minimum. I don't know. I one day to di mayona. So, but she was asking me how the investment is pan. I don't know. I get saved from Frostan. Nanga utusaka urekis and whatnot. But I get. So I'm just trying to compare the 2 scenarios that took place because after that conversation, I said to myself and I thought, Ore, Emana, wabana you another 2 block plus ona buaka ore next year bafana asi omorekela popcorn machine. So that go high instead of alo baisa kosgela go high arekise di popcorn.
And I think selling in school is not allowed because I remember I used to sell and it wasn't allowed.
It wasn't allowed.
Yeah,
I think at some schools
it's not allowed. At some school it is.
Or maybe
no underground. I think normally it's not allowed.
It's not allowed.
Okay, back then because
and so okay, kaya di ba Laurie? You see, you're not 2 block you. Instead, you're a wing, you're investor, more banking, about Leon. You had a great idea by investing that money into your son, because you can make that 130 that you got return of investment. You can make that 130
in
like
a day.
In a day.
Like there are 800 kids on one who carry 5 rand.
One good you see.
Like you can easily make that.
You can easily make that. And I was just thinking to myself, instead, the perfect way to invest your money is by starting a business. Not taking your money and let it sit somewhere and people manage your money for you. Because we're not taking that
you don't
power.
have even control over that. That is the problem. I'm sorry. You can't even pull out when it's time
you
to
want
pull
to.
out. Or if you pull out, you get penalized for pulling out.
Too early. You're breaking the agreement.
And someone is using your money to make more money.
Instead of you using your own money.
And making more money.
More money. So yeah, just to get started in this convo, yarona ya market on Frostana, like Obaisa starting your own thing is not as simple as one might assume. Kamoko bafana asile na complain Allah. So yeah, let's jump into it, Maji. What is your take? How do we tackle this beast?
I think gone are those days whereby a farmer is only a farmer. Like especially if you're small scale or if you're starting up. Yeah, gone are those days, G. Like now everything is evolving, even a farmer needs to evolve. Like we can't set and but we can't the landlord is here. So Yeah, gone are those days whereby a farmer is just a farmer. Like you as a farmer, you need to be a marketing guy, especially if you're not commercial guys. Because if you're commercial, the systems are already there for you.
You get a contract.
You get a contract.
3-year contract.
Yeah,
and
bring
then
so
shop.
much. This is how much you're going to get. Like you get your field agent. The field agent is going to come, check is your product coming alright. But if you're starting and you don't have that much money, you need to evolve. Like you need to go directly to the people. And kenana ore Rona so's the youth or black people ke more get hang wrong once are like because that is where you're going to get the max out of your
return of investment.
Yeah, out of your produce. Once are because like if you take to the like us now, we take to the retail and we go directly to the consumer. But I know her because of now I'm in the middle. Like I have a surplus of something. So I can take to the retail, I can take the price down. Maybe I'll take whatever, ka-5
price that the retail is going to give or buy the produce for.
Yeah, we'll take it ka-5 But if I sell it directly myself, I can get something like 10 rand, 12 rand. Understand? So I think, Rona, especially as small scale or medium guys, we need to evolve and find better ways. Just like everything is evolving. Like even if you look at soccer, like. Defender is a defender. Defender is not trap. Defender
midfielder.
Yeah, like defender is a lot. Stop. Like it doesn't happen like
need
that
to
way.
be able
Like,
to hold the ball.
Yeah. Defender is not start a play. Understand? And everything is evolving, and even us, medium to small scale guys, there is like you cannot afford not to be a sales guy. Like. If you're doing it, I wonder how you're doing it. Unless you had a surplus money really aside, or this is going to push me for this much, for this long. Maybe you can do it, but yeah, you need to evolve. We need to evolve. We need to go directly to our people because this, like, guys, we're producing to our people, and you know us better than everyone. Like, I used to there's a reason why I'm selling spinach and cabbage. Yeah, I have a reason behind that. Because of this thing is what our people consume daily.
Daily bread.
Yeah, as long as it's good quality at a good price. Out.
Since you've already started that one. Informal on Frostan, the informal market. Because even though that is the initial step that one can take, or that is an option that one can take, an option that one should take, not can take.
Especially when starting up.
Especially when starting up is an option that you should take because, retail is not going to do business with everyone. But anyway, informal because we're going to, I think we discussed the two markets, formal and informal. More informal because people would assume that it's very easy. You have produce, you just go and sell on the streets on Frostan. But it's not as easy as that. In our experiences,
there are sports.
Let's talk about sports, for an example. I get it, it's not as easy.
Let's just give an example of sports. I remember when we started selling from the boot of the car.
Yeah.
We moved. Is it 20 meter or 30 meter? From the corner to the bus stop.
Yeah.
It's like 20, 30?
30 meters.
30 meters. We doubled our profit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they are, especially because you're selling products, like it's only, your cars don't mean anything. Like there might be thousands of cars passing by. Because our target when we started, it was like, traffic guy. And then we went
traffic
we went there, or okay, there are a lot of cars passing there, so we need to stand there.
And we assume that traffic trans. That's why
we went there again. We went there, and there was traffic, like motor would stand like, yo, spinach, get 10, the traffic moves. Yeah, it's just inconvenience. And then, okay, no man, let's try more. And I mean, like maybe 30, 40, like there. We tried because we just moved away from the cars to where people are really moving, understand? And then some are just waiting for the base. And that person, on only 30 seconds, as checky. So, like, get spinach. Yeah, mommy, get spinach, get 10. 10! Ooh! And that doubles our profit. Those things, because like Leon, as you say, like in all the challenges like where are you selling, and that will determine if you are making money or you're not making money.
Which sports?
And even if it's in the sport, probably if you are lucky, there's no one there. But because there's always someone there.
Besides the Kokasi, dog, like even in town, all the good spots. I think the Nike point in Batla Weibu on Frostan. Like all the good spots are already taken. We had a headache, like just like you said, we had a headache finding a good spot.
After finding a good spot, because it's a good spot.
Someone was eyeing that very same spot. When our feet are erected, and the problem, it's not Asikasi Yarona.
I'm not from there.
And most people know that we are not from there. So it's not as if we have people around that would spread the message. If Babonaba to Barasingi, it's so yeah, number one is choose the right spot, and also what we found, most good spots are already taken.
Most good spots are taken. But it's all, you once you get a spot, because one thing I've seen is we as farmers, we don't normally sell. A vendor cannot take a hit. As much as I can take a hit.
Can't take a hit.
For an example, spinach. Because I know already spinach is to the retailers, but it's 5 rand, for an example. The same diesel that I'm using, including everything, was 5 rand. I take the very same thing. It is directly to the consumer, or 10 rand, which means I can take a knock. Like, if you make a project deal, or okay, if you see a retailing, then it's probably ignore 5 rand or whatever, with a 500. Me selling half of that, I can make that 500. So which means I can take a knock.
So now you put yourself in a position where you don't need to sell a large quantity. You can sell a smaller quantity and still make the same amount you would have made by selling 1,000. But now you can make the same amount of money by selling just 500. Because you're going straight to the consumer.
So because of all the good spots are taken, what we did, we were like, okay, sharp, the good spots are taken. Now what do we do? Everyone, the good spots are taken. We just have a portion of the spot, of the good spots. So what do we do? Quantity. I can push that. I'm a farmer. You're not a farmer. What's stock? I can stock. And that is one of the reasons why they were breaking our stuff, because
they can't compete with us.
First week, they say, those ones, because we were selling at the boot from the boot of the car. They was like, you show us a stocker somewhere, but about, and that's it. First week, second week, third week, even.
This is a serious matter. And every day fresh spinach. So, now that is when I start to knock inside the vendor's pocket. Everyone now knows. Come out from that side. That, I've heard about your spinach. Abuti. Thank you, mama. So because of, and honestly, this thingy business, the whole point is to knock everyone out, just like every business is a man. And Rena it's a dog eat dog world.
And Rena, as medium to small scale farmers, we have the capacity of doing that. Just like the big guys, I can't flatter your China market. Then like it's another flat.
Flatter the vendor, flatter
and that is what we did, and our sales went. I remember we were constant now, or no, not Kalamo. This is how much we know due to our quantity. But another thing, I don't know, because I was even thinking of reducing the quantity because now it's too big. I feel like I'm going to kilo after 2 weeks. Like, we go, yo, spinach, yo. So I'm thinking of just reducing a bit, but still bigger than them. But still flat. Just the very same thing a commercial farmer is doing, because that is the very same thing at an market. And then you find that spinach can go down to 4 rand, 3 rand.
The last time we were there, last week, nearly 3 rand because the market was flooded.
And he can take that. I mean, the amount of 2,000. 3 rand, it's something for him. And then we're not 100.
300 is. And
the worst part, I'm pretty much sure when there's a small scale or starting up, chances are you will like a fan. I'm lucky. Because I'm just market from here is like 20 k's. I'm just imagining someone 50 k's away, like ana like a fan, ana.
And you taking 300 bundles.
300 na, 300 to satla ko market, like 300 market to magatao man.
Minimum.
Yeah, to magatao, so that the man of like I sold 400 today. Then okay, at least I did something. Yeah, but 300.
But what is before Rekena, because informally there's still so much we can chat about on your another thing. Like we already mentioned about sport
and the vendors, because the vendors also is informal.
It's all informal.
And look, they are one thing I like about the vendors, why I like them so much, it's I always have cash.
And you talk to the boss. You don't. The person selling is probably the boss, so he can make a decision very quick.
And I check it easy now. Take one product, just like you do your like your product, your sample, like a yoga base. No, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Next week.
Decision maker.
If you guys agree, if he has most of them they don't have cars, but the best thing is you group them. After you group them, you can deliver to them in one day.
Instead of having to take.
Yeah, because their problem is someone can put on 20 next thing, but you need to stick or no. Not deliver by Monday.
So at this time, I can deliver.
Yeah. So lebona, you can have easy cash flow, like because every time you deliver, they give you your money. Like you'll never hear stories from them, unless maybe you guys have some kind of relationship,
different agreement.
Yeah, there is, but normally
cash on delivery.
Normally they keep your business running, and the good thing about them, especially when you're starting, it's one when I was starting, because like I had because no guy cancel when I was starting, because I didn't know what to plant next. This season, then they would tell you, maize, do that. Let's
we want
3-4 will tell you maize, and then you can group. Oh, the next season is maize. Then you can be early, or you can be just a tad too late. But whatever, being early, being late, it didn't the consequence due to the climate and everything. But they can
at least you plant knowing
how is the market going to now you can gain that experience of next time in the market I'm supposed to and you already have the market.
Through that. And which is like you said, for cash flow purposes, great on Frostan. Before we can go formal, I just want to ask you, how does it feel? Because when you take your things to the market, or Odisa ko Spa, or whatever retailer that whomever supplies, you don't get to engage with the consumer on Frostan. You don't get to see how people appreciate your produce. Because how do like a retailer, you just talk to the manager and he just say, no, it's sharp. But now that we are also dealing directly with the consumer, you get to see people like the comment on our lady are when I pass chab.
Like I'll never forget that old lady and she's like, when I pass chab, I do like spinach and she's like, I don't eat meat at all. But like I'm content with your produce. Like like thank you, lady. I'm gapasel.
What's so fast? I'm Christmas.
I'm gapasel, but it satisfies your soul. It makes it worth it. Yeah, like
it validates your purpose.
And not another. And once you start interacting about it, it's not about the money. It's about the money, but the money doesn't mean anything anymore. When someone I you know what, thank you, like what tools are like. Because I used to sell my cabbage this big at 10, and half year they used to be 15. And like it's not about the money anymore. One about two, and then. Like especially Toppies would come to you. When I'm far. Like sharp timer and frankly, they used to be surprised. I'm South African and I'm young and I'm at the streets. This is my produce.
West.
Blow their mind.
The same combo we had. Arno by the quarter. We had a few spinaches. Cooperative, and then the whole cooperative fell apart.
And you remember that day? Yeah. We made a clipper.
Yeah.
Because we had spinach, we made clipper.
That
lady.
And
there is like it's already about being there at the streets.
Being in tune with
Yeah,
the
because
market.
I feel like even if you can try and speak about formal market, like formal market, there's nothing to speak about. Take your produce to the retail or whoever. Or the producer, he adds the markup because he has that station set up for him to sell that. Oh, but he said that product. Then that's it. Like, what is there anymore to say?
No, but saying something about that was just to give, let's say someone is watching, and we all have our different preferences. One for instance, someone really wants to tap in, or maybe someone has been trying this informal. Everyone
wants to tap into commercial.
Everyone wants to go the retail route.
Yeah.
One for instance. So I
and
just
which
thought
is understandable, because I understand did I sell, didn't I sell? Yeah.
It's not your
Really
department.
feel it.
Yeah, how
That's
to
it.
producer.
Yeah.
So but we've been in this space for a while, and there's a lot of people that are making silly mistakes because, like for an example, dog, Lerona, I think we've made this early last year, where we failed to consistently supply the particular retailer, and then we lost that contract or that agreement. But Tata Kori, it's hard to get that person back because whomever is now the new supplier might be consistent on Frostan. He will hold on to that guy and he will never get in. So on Frostan, it's just those minor things. And it's not even minor, dog. It's things that can make or break your business. Because, yeah, once you lose that customer, you can just go back and say, no, serious who's pushing business, and he knocked you out forever. So the importance of market retention on Frostan is very important. Or how can permanent and plant accordingly so that you never run out.
And hence you have to build, because Otoma at the streets, and or now it's only 50 bundles a day. Be consistent with that. Let me see.
It's not as easy as you think.
It's not as easy as you think. Because even there, even at the streets, expand there first. And make sure I'm comfortable. I've been supplying this for like so much time, and then now I can
production in your
even like us, like some guy was asking me, like I was telling him that like we're supplying this much, and he was so surprised. He's like, now why? Because he's a farmer. I didn't have spinach on the stock away. I told him, no, last year I was supplying this much. He's surprised, like, why are you not supplying it anymore? Chief, I've been there, like I've lost that. I can't repeat the same mistake. I now know.
So you see, Bohlalibo is a tip that someone can take away also from this podcast. Bohlalibo, how do you retain the market? Even if we're not producing our shop, like for an example, like you just said now, you went to a neighboring farmer or in our network or guys spinach, even if that means you only make him break even, but at least to what say that retailer
and but that retailer, like it's so purposefully so because of I knew their quantity. It's not too big, it's not too little. And it's within. I can still make diesel money out of it. So another thing where even now, like I still have contact, I can still do more, but I can't do more relying on someone. Because like it's only last week I went to him and he said he doesn't have spinach. I was like, this guy, he was telling me I can say 8,000, like, no like this much. Like, if I did my projections
relying on an
him,
external feeds,
and I don't have a field agent whereby you can keep
monitoring him,
or is the product doing well and everything. Start a slow. Yeah, don't worry about the big. You'll get there, but make sure whatever you getting, you keep. Yeah.
But my G, guys, unfortunately we're going to bring this one to an end. There's still so much to talk about. Please leave your descriptions in the comment down below, or your comments in the comment section down below, and let's have a conversation togetherness, because we've just been giving our experiences and what we have found. The other thing that I wanted to touch on is we can do this, guys, because we are not presenters. I think if you have been with us for a while, you've seen that we get guests on a regular basis. But me and Basti, we can do this no problem because we are actual farmers ourselves. and we are doing it like everyone else. We are in this. We have scars to show that we are in this game. So please, guys, leave your comments down below. Let's engage, and this is the place to be. You know how it is. Bahlala ba rona kaofela makes us all happy. It's not individual brilliance here. Come on, guys. With that said, peace and love.